Okay, now anytime we're working or adding artwork to our page, we have what's called a stacking order. And so you'll notice if I take this polygon shape that I just drew and I drag it over here on top of the other polygon shape, which is yellow, notice the green shape now covers up part of the yellow. So it's actually on top of it. If I take both of these objects, drag it over here to the pink circle, notice the green appears above it, but the yellow appears behind it. And that's because when we drew these shapes, I drew the yellow one first, then the pink one, then the green one. And so based on that order in which they were created, it stacks them in the appropriate order as well. Now, if for some reason I want to change that order, you simply select the object, right-click, arrange, send to back. That puts it all the way in the back. Then, of course, I also have an arrange, send to front option. That, of course, would bring it all the way back to the front. However, in a scenario like this where I have 3 objects, so I could create kind of a sandwich effect, if I right-click, arrange, you'll also see an option that says either bring forward or send backward. That sends it forward or brings it, that brings it forward or sends it backward in steps. So for example, if I say bring forward, notice nothing physically looked like it happened. But the reason it looks like nothing happened is because, remember, I drew all these other shapes as well on my screen, and they're all part of the same stacking order. So if I happen to have drawn one of these shapes before this polygon, and I say bring forward, it's actually bringing it forward in front of these stars. You just can't physically see it. So I might have to right-click, arrange, bring forward again. Now it actually shows in between the 2 shapes. So again, that's one of those scenarios that you're not going to read about in the book. That's just a real life experience that happens. And a lot of times it confuses people if you don't understand the concept of the stacking order, because you could bring forward and be like, oh, wait, nothing moved, nothing happened. Well, yes, it did relative to the other objects on the same page. So that's why you might have to repeat those steps multiple times. Or in this case, what we could have also done possibly is with the object selected, right-click, arrange, bring to front, so it all brings it all the way to the front of all the objects, then right-click, arrange, send backward. Notice again, nothing happened here because I drew these other stars after this one. So I might have to do it again, arrange, send backward. Might have to do it again, arrange, send backward. Now eventually it goes in between the 2. Okay, so just because you're looking at something and logically you're telling yourself, well, this is what should be happening, we have to think of the overall images on our page and the stacking order in which they were created. That will determine how many times we either have to bring something by stepping it forward or how many times we have to send it to the back. So just keep that in mind. Now, in some cases, you might want a shape to take on the same color as another shape. So for example, I want this green star to appear the same color as this pink circle. That's where your eyedropper tool comes into play. It's about 3/4 the way down in your toolbar. When an object is selected, you're going to use the eyedropper tool and click on the object that you're sampling the color from. Notice when that happened, my cursor, the little eyedropper, flips direction, and now it actually looks like it's filled with that color, which allows me to continue to apply that color to other objects on the screen.